Welcome to the channel. Notice anything different? The Ponson's Warren Auto Drive is gone and the Ponson's Warren Sizomatic has taken its place. I filled a lot of holes to make that happen, and after I filled the holes and I mopped up the puddle of oil at the bottom of the Mark 7 Auto Drive, I thought, you know, I might as well have a proper tidy and refurnish my benches. And so I reworked this bench there and this bench here. Now that's actually quite easy because the original product that I used to refinish these is Osmo Polyx oil high solid for wooden flooring. I've used it on wooden flooring before, it was very good. And furniture. Clear satin for interior use, natural oil waxed, microporous, water repellent and durable. Now I've had this tin for quite a while. It's good stuff. I have to say they're not a sponsor and they haven't reached out to me or they even know that I'm making this thing. I've paid for this with their money. This is my opinion. I like this product. I like this product predominantly because it feels like the rifle stock of a Lee Enfield. It has that, yes, it's waxy, but it's kind of like a hard waxy. It's not something that you can wipe off. It is impregnated in the surface and it's kind of warm. And I mean, the finish is immaculate. This isn't, you know, when you paint something and kind of oil and there's always a little bit. No, there's none of that. It is very smooth. The one I chose is a satin, so you don't get any glare of it. It's just a very pleasant finish, and I think it makes the wood come out as well. It is non-toxic, and therefore, you know, once it's dried, it is perfectly safe. I like that as well, and I like that it's just about impervious to every chemical I have thrown at this. Super glue will stick to it, but you can scrape it off. I have had acetone, I have had isopropyl alcohol, I've had bluing fluid, WD-40, every oil imaginable. Just about every day liquid stuck onto this thing and pooled on it and wiped it off. And it's never taken the finish with it. Now, the other thing I like about it is that it really doesn't smell when you apply it. I mean, it smells, but it's not like, you know, when you put like a red spray paint, it doesn't have that, you know, you can just about stand it. It's not quite so terrible, and it dries reasonably quickly. I did this at the height of winter. We had snow outside, and because of that, it took slightly longer to dry. With the heating on in here, I got the temperature up to about, I don't know, 13 degrees, 14 degrees, and all in it took maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 hours, and then it was dry, and you know, then it's fine, and I'm quite happy with that. Now, the last thing, and this is the thing I really like about this stuff, is that you can renew it. Now, renew doesn't mean I just put another layer on top. I mean, I can actually get rid of this layer using a scraper, and within 20 minutes I have all this waxy stuff off this countertop. And then I can give it a light sanding, and once I'm done with the sanding, I can just reapply this stuff. And it will have taken all that sort of primer dirt and all the other, you know, the dirty tools you've assembled on this that have somehow weaseled themselves into the top layer. It'll take it all off and it'll give you your clean workbench back. Now, obviously, I still have the dings. I have not sanded or ground this back to the level where all the dings are gone and the burn marks and all the rest. Because, you know, I'd have to take about 2 mil off this bench and I'm not prepared to do that. I don't mind if my workbench has dings in it. I just don't like it when my workbench is dirty. And once you've refinished it, realistically, you've got a protective layer back over those areas. So, you know, it's not a continual hole of finish in the workbench where oils or God knows what seep in. Each spot of the bench you want to scrape about 3 times. After that, you can sand it. This is 120 grit. We can see, yes, I got a bit of this waxy finish in it, but most of the surface is still all right. So if you try sanding it without scraping it, this thing is just going to fill up immediately. And you won't get any more sanding out of it. You'll just have a waxy sponge. So you have to scrape first, then you sand, and then instead of using a tray or something, you can just pour this out straight on the bench. And I like to use a roller, which has a mini roller with a sort of firm, not a fluffy sort of roller, but quite a spongy, like a kitchen sponge sort of consistency, maybe slightly harder. And that'll roll it out and you won't see any markings on this. If you use a brush, and I did the mistake of using a brush on that workbench over there, you can see the brush marks when the light hits it just so. Now that's not really a problem because I roll it over that again and that largely got rid of it, but it is still an annoyance. Now the things that I really dislike about this thing is that there does seem to be a slow color change into sort of a darker color. Now that might just be me, that might just, when you use it, I mean, it variably will get a little dirty. I mean, if you disassemble an engine block on here, that will leave dark marks. You know, the oil will stick to bits or enter the surface layer of this material eventually a little. There's a really good example over here where my laptop is, where I haven't scraped it back, and you can see that sort of dirt layer in the finish. And I should have scraped it back, but I didn't because I'm lazy, but I should have done. Your tabletop will slowly darken, and about every 5 years or so, I think it'd be a good idea to just scrape it back and renew it, if you care. I mean, if you don't care, fine, whatever. But for me, I like I say, I like having a bench that that is clean. I don't mind it if it's nicked or got dings in it or whatever. I just don't like something that's filthy. The other thing that I somewhat suspect I dislike about it is that I don't think you can go from this finish, even if you scrape it back, to another finish. I don't think you could scrape this back and then, I don't know, varnish it or something like that. I don't think you'd fully remove this. So I have used it in the past on floorboards, and you know, it stood up to that. So I think the finish is quite solid and good. And I think for a workbench like this, I think it's great. And if you need to paint a child's toy with something, then this is probably a good product, as your little one can nibble on it and it won't get poisoned. So that's about my sum up. Now I have a little bonus clip here. I have a shot of the little shelf above me, and you can see the indentations where originally, this used to be my worktop before I retired it and turned it into a shelf. And you can see where my lead presses were mounted. I had 2 of those in another machine, which for the love of God of me, I can't remember what it was. But you see how dirty this is. This is what I mean with that sort of the darkening of the finish. I'm reasonably confident that if I scrape this back, I could make this significantly lighter and I could get all the dirt off it. Now obviously I'm not going to do that, it's just a bench in a reloading shed, but you know, that stuff's been on there for, I don't know, maybe over 10 years? Maybe longer. So there. Yeah, so I'm a fan. This is Osmo stuff, I like that. And I hope this was interesting, and if you're looking to finish your table, your workbenches, which are wooden, then I think you could do much worse than this stuff. So I hope that was interesting, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.